Alright, answer for that one should be 1/4. Alright, for this one, the common denominator is going to be 42. On the top, 5/6. Multiply 6 times 7 to get 42, so 5 times 7 will give us 35. 7 times 6 gives us 42, so 2 times 6 will give us 12. Add those together and you should have 47/42. That's your final answer. Okay, answer is 1. Alright, winning numbers for today are 1 and 20. Out loud. Okay, homework check's going to be up here. Okay, number 1 should be 65. Number 2, 65. Number 3, A equals 33. Number 4, A equals 39. Number 5, B equals 60. Number 6, A equals 13. 7, A equals 51. 8, B equals 84. 9, A equals 28. And 10 should be C equals 110. Okay, any questions on the homework? Alright, our objective for today. We're going to be solving polynomial equations. Our learning target. We're going to be solving the polynomial equations of the form x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, the first thing we want to do when we're trying to factor the polynomial, we have a positive 2. This is the number we want to look at. Now our x squared, that means that we're going to be factoring this into something that has an x plus or minus some number and an x plus or minus some number, because x times x is going to give you x squared. So if x squared is the beginning, if the coefficient is just 1 on your x squared, then the two x's are going to be the first thing you want to write down. The next thing we want to do is we want to find what two numbers that are factors of 2 are going to multiply to give us a positive 2 and add to give us a positive 3. Now, what are the factors of 2? Should just be 2 and 1, right? Are there any other factors of 2? Right. So these are our only 2 factors. So that means the 2 factors of 2, do these 2 multiply to give us 2? And they add to give us 3, right? So we're going to write our 2 and our 1 here. Since they're... So if we multiplied this using FOIL, we'd have x squared plus 2x plus x plus 2. So that would give us x squared plus 3x plus 2. And that's a way you can check yourself to make sure you have the right factors. We're going to set each of these equal to 0. And then we're going to solve these equations. Now we've been doing these. X plus 1 equals 0. What does x equal? Negative 1. And x plus 2 equals 0. What does x equal? Negative 2. So our answers are x equals negative 1 and x equals negative 2. Now all this means is if we plug negative 1 into our equation, it should equal 0. And if we plug negative 2 into our equation, our x squared plus 3x plus 2, it'll come out to be 0. Okay? Right. Okay, FOIL. Oh boy, I didn't know you guys hadn't done that yet. FOIL is when we have two different factors. So we have x plus 3 and x minus 1. You do your first, you multiply the first numbers, x times x gives you x squared. Your outer numbers, so your outer numbers are x and one, or negative 1. That'll give you negative x. Multiply your inners, gives you 3x. That'll be positive 3x. And then the last numbers, negative 1 and positive 3, gives you negative 3. And so this is going to just give you a polynomial. You do x squared, a negative x plus a positive 3x gives you a positive 2x minus 3. Okay, for example 2, remember we want to start with our x squared, and if we have x squared, that means our first two variables will be x and x. Next, we want to look at our positive 8. We want two factors of 8 that are going to add to give us 6 and multiply to give us 8. Now, what are the factors of 8?
8, 16, 30, 24, 1 through 4.
We have 8 and 1.
4 and 2.
2 and 4, 4 and 2. Are there any others? Okay, now which one of these is going to multiply to give us 8 and add to give us 6?
4 and 2.
4 and 2. So these are our factors, and it doesn't matter which side you put them on. Now since we have positive and a positive, then it's going to be both positives. A positive 4 and a positive 2 multiplied together will give us 8. And a positive 4 and a positive 2 added together will give us 6. So these are the factors that we're looking for. And x plus 4 equals 0. So our answers are x equals negative 2 and x equals negative 4. Try a practice problem. Alright, the bonus is, whoops, should be 2 over 15. Alright, we have x squared plus 4x plus 3. We're going to first set up our factors, put in our x's. Now we're going to look at our 3 here. What are factors of 3?
1 and 3.
Alright, are there any others? No. So we're going to go ahead and put in our 1 and put in our 3. And they're both going to be positive because we have a positive right here and a positive right here. And that means we're going to have x plus 1 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. That should be your final answer. If you had that, go ahead and come on up. Okay, answer for the bonus should be 19 over 12. In the second bonus for now, we're going to go straight to the solution for the practice problem. We have x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. First thing we want to do is go ahead and set up our factors. What are our factors of 6? 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Are those our only factors?
Yeah.
Alright, what two numbers are going to add to be 5? 2 and 3, right. A positive 2 and a positive 3 are going to give us 5x and multiply to give us 6. So now we need to set these equal to 0. When we set those equal to 0, our final answer is x equals negative 2 and x equals negative 3. Okay, for example 3, this time we have a minus x at the end. we're still going to go ahead and set up our factors. Now we're looking for the factors of a minus 6. What two numbers can we multiply to give us a negative 6? Negative 1 times 6. Negative 2 times 3. Negative 3 times 2. Negative 6 times 1. Okay, now what two numbers are going to add to give us a positive 1? Negative 2 and 3. So those are the numbers we plug in. When you plug in your 2, make sure you write a minus sign because it's a negative 2 and our 3 is still positive. Does that make sense? Okay, for example 4, we have x squared minus 7x plus 12. Go ahead and set up our factors. What are the factors of 12? 3 and 4, 1 and 12, 2 and 6. We have a negative 7 in the middle, so we're looking for something that adds to be negative 7 and multiplies to give us 12. So if you have a positive sign right here and a negative sign right here, that means you're going to have two negatives. Negative 3 and negative 4, that's right. Because negative 3 and negative 4 add to give us negative 7, and they multiply to give us a positive 12, and that's what we're looking for. So we set these equal to 0, and we solve for x. So our x's should be 3 and 4. Okay, go ahead and try practice problem number 3. Yes. Alright, solution for the practice problem. Go ahead and set up our factors. We have x and x. The factors of negative 8 will be what? 1 and negative 8, negative 1 and 8, 2, negative 4, negative 2, 4. What two numbers are going to add to give us our negative 2? 2 and negative 4. That's right. So our answer, when we set these equal to 0, should be x equals negative 2 and x equals positive 4. And here's your homework for tonight.